Okay, all right. Peace in. Welcome to another episode of On the Cutting Room Floor. And I'm the host, Tony Ray Harvey. Let's jump right on into it. Sacramento Kings, well, they fall tonight on the back end of a back-to-back. 116-96 to the San Antonio Spurs at Frost Bank Center on Veterans Day. And happy Veterans Day. So, definitely not the result that we were looking for, considering the fact the way they won last night in overtime in Phoenix. But let me say this, because I noticed a lot of things. I mean, some of these things are correct about the Kings, okay, who fall to 6-5 on the season, 4-3 on the road, and they will be returning home to play the Phoenix Suns Wednesday. But a lot is said, and always is going to be said about giving teams confidence, and basically that's true, okay? Because tonight is a good example of that. But where I'm getting at is the scouting report. Every other team in this league had the scouting report on the Sacramento Kings. They do not defend the three-point area well at all. They don't. They don't. Closeouts, getting up into the players' faces, running them off the line. You know, just being there with, for those catch and shoots. Everybody got the scouting report on this team. Okay, coming in. Oh well, the Kings. We play them next. They don't defend the three-point line that well. So you get those open shots, do not hesitate to take those shots. That's me, and I'm not no coach. But obviously, this is a deficiency that's not going away anytime soon. Because I know Mike Brown and his coaching staff have worked tirelessly trying to get this team to understand that can't let these other teams get hot behind the line, behind the three-point line. And boy, did they get hot. The Spurs, they were 43 for 85 shooting from the floor at 50.6%. 50.6%. They made 22 or 46 shots in three-point territory for 47.8%. The San Antonio Spurs coming into this game through 10 games were shooting 33.5% behind the arc. But tonight, they had 6 players that had 2 or more three-pointers. Victor Wembanyama, which we will be talking extensively here, he had 6 three-pointers. Okay, and then let's see what else would have. So we put it out. Victor had 6 three-pointers on his own. Okay, then there was Julian Champagnie. He had 3. Devin Vassell, he had 3. And this other cat, Sandro Malmuke-Lashvili. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He had 3. Okay, so you had 4 players with 3 or more in three-point territory and 1 with 6. And then the rest of them, at least had 2. The scouting report is etched in stone. And this team is going to continue to have problems with that. I know this is a back-to-back. I understand that. Okay? That's the scheduling. That's what you do. You guys are professionals. You know you're going to be having these back-to-backs. Didn't really have to travel that far, I don't believe. From San Antonio, from Phoenix to San Antonio. Okay? Now you got to make a trip back Sacramento. Just 2 games here we're talking about. We're just talking about 2 games here. Last night and tonight, and you're back at home. It's not like you're flying all over, you know, the eastern seaboard and up north to Canada or anything like that. I understand all of that. But I also understand that these other, the other 29 teams, the scouting report, they do not, the Sacramento Kings do not defend the 3-point line well, at all. It's an extremely deficiency for this team. That really, if you look at it, they do everything else well, or almost well. I'm gonna say, this team is not perfect and stuff, but, you know, well, as we know, you know, with this thing that's going on with the Clutch brothers, okay? And I want to thank, you know, the gentleman on the X platform who came up with that name a long time ago, before the season even started, okay, when the Kings acquired DeMar DeRozan. But, hey, you know, the defense in that area just going to have to it's going to have to improve. And it's going to have to improve fast, because you're 6-5. You could have came back home 7-4. Okay, you just one game over 500. Well, you should be 2 or 3 games above 500. Now you got a 4-game homestand that you look for. And that will start with Phoenix, and then they have a back-to-back with Minnesota and Utah. That's on the 15th and 16th of November. And then they're back here next Monday, on the 18th, they have Atlanta Hawks here. So they'll be playing them for a second time, too. But it's the scouting report. That's nothing really more than I can say. Let's see, man. Victor Wembanyama, he had 34 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 block shots in 34 minutes. He was 13 for 22 shooting from the field, 6 for 12 in 3-point territory. He made both his free throws. 6 for 12. That's 50% right there. That's 50% right there. And that's followed up by Chris Paul. Wow. No, listen, I'm not even going to go with Chris Paul. Listen, who is this other cat? Man, if you just look at, I mean, I didn't even notice that, but Victor was the only one that really scored over 20 points, 30 points. We'll see it. Keldon Johnson, he had 11 points. Chris Paul, he had 12 points. Harrison Barnes, he had 10 points. He had 5 rebounds and 2 assists in 30 minutes. He made a 3. He was 3 for 3 from the free throw line. So that's the first time the Kings have faced Harrison Barnes since he was traded to San Antonio over the summer. And it looked like they was having a really good time with him. Okay, Julian Champagnie, 13 points. Okay, Devin Vassell, who was on minute restriction, he had 12 points. But he was 3 for 5 behind the arc in 21 minutes. Yes, sir. Okay, well, I mean, 34 points, and then the next player has 13 points. All of these points, I'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 players in double figures. And outside Victor Wembanyama, we're talking about 13 points between 10 and 13 points from the other 6 players. Wow, it's incredible. But hey, it's a long season. Hopefully the Kings will understand. And I'm pretty sure they do understand. I mean, they practice on these things every day. I know they do. That this thing got to be fixed, because it's going to happen again. Okay, it's sure the heck going to happen when they play the Phoenix Suns. They're going for those threes too on this team. And I'm talking about when the opposing teams do play the Kings, they get so many open shots. And not only that, their confidence is so rocket high that they'll shoot them in their face. They'll make some tough shots right there in their face out there. Incredible. Once again, the Kings lose tonight. And second game of the back-to-back, 116-96 to the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, who were without Greg Popovich. As we know, he's been sidelined with, I want to say, a medical condition. It hasn't really been disclosed what's going on him. Once again, you know, prayers to him and his family, and I hope to see him return back to the game as soon as possible to just make sure you're healthy. And looking forward to, you know, when San Antonio comes here to play the Kings, that he'll be on that be in that traveling party. So, you know, we'll go from there. But the guy who's filling in for him, Mitch Johnson, I think right now, since Popovich has been sidelined, he's 3-2 with this team. Okay, and once again, the Spurs are 5-6 on the season, so they're not no pushovers. They're not no pushovers. They're winning ball games. They're winning ball games, and they're going to win more ball games too. But that was just like a exceptional shooting display tonight against the Sacramento Kings. Just one more time, 22 of 46 beyond the arc, 47.8% shooting, and shot 50%, 50.6% from the floor. From the floor, you know that this team, they ready, you know, they hot and they ready for, you know, to play a team like Sacramento, because everyone know the scouting report says you're going to get yours behind the arc. All you have to do is focus, concentrate, and you will knock them down. And my goodness, did they knock him down tonight? Wow, that's just totally crazy. So when we talk about the Sacramento Kings, hey, De'Aaron, he backed up last night with great effort. 24 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. Okay, he was 2 for 5 shooting beyond the arc, 9 for 19 shooting from the floor, made all 4 of his free throws. And then we climb up to Domantas Sabonis, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. Both of them was in the first quarter. It was 11-19 shooting from the field. Made 1 of 3 3-pointers. And then DeMar DeRozan, who, well, we done played 11 games, so 10 of these games he has scored 20 or more points. Tonight he had 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocked shots. Off 8 for 15 shooting from the floor. Made his 1 and only 3, 4 for 5 shooting from the charity stripe, from the free throw line, in 37 minutes. In 37 minutes. So where it kind of drop off at is, if I'm not mistaken here, Keegan only has 5 points tonight. He was 2 for 7 shooting on the floor, 1 for 5 beyond the arc. He didn't get to the free throw line. He had 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 turnovers. And all of this in 29 minutes. And then, as we know, I did mention earlier to this presentation, Malik Monk is going to be sidelined for a while with that sprained ankle. I think it's a left sprained ankle, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's a right. He has a sprained ankle. Okay, and that was after during the game against the Phoenix Suns. So we won't see him for a little bit. So that left it up to Keon Ellis, Trey Lyles, Doug McDermott got some burn tonight, and Jordan McLaughlin. Okay, Mason Jones and Isaac Jones, Kobe, they all played, but those like garbage minutes. I mean, I'm not gonna call those garbage minutes. Just strictly reserved minutes towards the end of the game. So especially when the game was already won by San Antonio. So, but what did he get from them? Okay, Trey Lyles, he got 8 points, 4 rebounds. Okay, 1 steal in 26 minutes. With 3 for 8. 3 for 8 shooting from the field. He made 2 of 6 attempts in 3-point land. And he didn't get to the free throw line at all. Okay, Doug McDermott, he played 13 minutes. Jordan, he played almost 9 minutes. He played 9 minutes. He only had 5 points. Doug had 5 points. Once again, Trey Lyles had 8 points. Keon, he played 22 minutes, but he had 3 points, a couple steals. He was 1 for 6 shooting from the floor, 1 for 5, 3-point territory. He didn't get to the line. Matter of fact, man, it's pretty interesting here. Kings only got to the line 9 times tonight and made 8 of them for 88.9%, so that's 89%. They didn't get to the free throw line like they normally do. But hey, you're gonna have these type of games. You know, I know it's a back-to-back. You could tell there was a little fatigue going on with the Kings, and hey, but you still had a chance to make a dent and get that win. So it did not happen. So you have another chance to go back at it on Wednesday, and hopefully you can improve on 43% shooting from the floor, 10 for 38 shooting in 3-point territory. That was at 26.3, but they did make 10. So they shot 1 more than they did last night in the 3-point area. They had 37 attempts last night, and what did they make, 11? Okay, so tonight they had 10. Okay. And the Kings are 28th shooting in 3-point territory. It's something like 30.3%, something like that. That guy, as we've been talking about, it just has to get better. It has to get better. I don't know when, but it has to get better. Wow. Sacramento Kings. Sacramento Kings. So, the Kings were behind 18-13 in the first, but finished the first quarter on a 13-4 run to end the quarter with a 26-22 lead. Okay, Domas had 8 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals in 12 minutes. He played all 12 minutes that first quarter. In the second quarter, the Kings led 31-22 early in the second frame. But the Spurs, they went on a 15-4 run to make the score, to take the lead at 37-36 on a 3-pointer by Wemby. Okay, the lead exchanged about 5 more times until HB, Harrison Barnes, 3-point play tied the game at 53. The Spurs got 2 baskets from Stephon Castle, I like that rookie, and a trey. And at the buzzer, Chris Paul made a basket to give the Kings a 60-55 halftime lead. Okay, so the Spurs finished the second quarter on a 10-2 run. Okay, matter of fact, at this point, the Spurs had made 11 of 23 shots from behind the arc at the half. Okay, and Wemby had made 4 of those, including 2 30-footers. Wow, he has range. And I saw like a couple of these shots over Domas, and I mean, Domantas is 6'10", okay? But when you see Wemby, when he shoots out there beyond the arc, he does it pretty much with ease. He could shoot over anybody, of course, because I mean, what is he, 7'5", I believe, 7'4", 7'5", and he's just long everywhere and stuff. But yeah, that's where that was. Now the Kings were 7 of 23 beyond the arc in the first half. Okay, and the bench had at least 18 points in that first half, so which is not bad, you know, with Malik being out of service for a while, stuff. The production is going to have to come at a higher rate from the bench than it had previously had without Malik Monk. So in the 13th quarter, excuse me. In the third quarter, San Antonio Spurs, they went on a 14 run that gave them a 75-61 advantage, and that was behind Castle, Chris Paul, and Keldon Johnson. They each made 3-pointers during that 14-6 run. They each made, matter of fact, it was Keldon, Castle, and Paul. They made back-to-back threes during that 14-6 run. So the Kings, they came back, they cut the lead by 8, but then they went on a 5-minute scoring drought. They just couldn't hit a basket, which let the Spurs able to, you know, build up an 84-71 lead to end the quarter, the third quarter. Okay, so at this point they were 15-35 beyond the arc in 3-pointers. The Spurs were. Okay, through 3 quarters. So they're shooting 44% through 3 quarters beyond the arc. Okay, so they open up the 4th quarter. Okay, back-to-back 3-pointers by DeSandro, Mahmoud Lashvili, and a bucket by Wemby gave the Spurs a 97-78 lead. So they're up by 19. The Kings got no closer to 14 points in the 4th quarter. That was it. Another tough loss. Winnable game. But it's over now. So right now we'll be looking at this 4-game homestand. And folks, scouting report. Scouting report. Because each of those teams that's coming here, and a couple of them have already played the Kings. No. They got them open looks out there in 3-point land. They're going to take it. And they're going to take it with so much confidence. Because they're going to feel like they can knock down each and every one of them. So that's what we'll have to be dealing with that. Me, journalistically, I do believe the Kings still will put together string together some wins here in these next 9 games. And that'll put it at 20 games. And that really will have a good assessment when they hit that 20-game mark of where this team is and where they possibly can go once we hit that 20-game mark. So it's still a lot of time left, to extend, these wins, get some things together, and hopefully everything turn out right, and Malik could come back as soon as possible as well. So you probably won't hear from me again until the next road game from the Kings. I don't speak that much during the home games, at least providing a digital commentary after those games, because I'm doing so much. I'm back and forth to both locker rooms and press conferences, and that's the way I like it, because that's what I call reporting. I just don't sit pigeonholed in one area just talking to one team. I like to get reactions about the Sacramento Kings from both sides, the Kings and the opposing teams, the visiting team that's coming in here. So I do want to thank you again for checking in on me. Like I said, hey, hit that subscribe button, if you haven't. Hit that like button if you haven't. Thank you for tuning in. I don't care if it's 20 people viewing this, up to 100 people was viewing this. I appreciate you just stopping by and listening to, what I'm saying of, hear my perspective, on these games and how it's played. So once again, I'm going to be signing out of here. I got to do my closing a little bit better. That's one thing that I'm learning too. But we'll see you next time. Peace.